morning, intuitives. Channel's back to some old habits. Get two subscribers, lose one. Get two, lose one. So notice that as an interesting pattern ever since I began the channel. So if you're new, please stick around and help spread the word. So this channel, whatever you think of it, can reach more people and potentially help someone who's going through a situation that they think they may be the only one and that nobody understands them. Also, since I haven't heard anything, I assume the recording's a lot better with the iPad than it was with that old junker phone, because my new phone I couldn't plug this microphone into. So since I haven't heard anything, I'm going to assume everything's okay. And of course, given the season, if these videos or this channel has helped you, please consider sending me a super thanks for as little as $2. If you all send me $2, well, it'd be cool. But what I want to talk about today is another INFJ topic, because truth and integrity is so important to us, no matter what. And this can lead to some common situations where the INFJ's devotion to truth and integrity supersedes everything else, what people think of us, our need to fit in, which we don't really have. But, I've said before, we do the right thing at our own detriment a lot of times. There we go, sitting right now. So for us, for INFJs, truth matters, majority opinion doesn't. And this can be both in objective and subjective topics. Like subjective topics, obviously it's somebody's opinion, their interpretation of what happened, what went down. Objective is like facts, data, and logic, things that cannot be disputed, no matter how many people try to say otherwise. And this can be particularly difficult when dealing with people with cluster B personality disorders, be it narcissists or borderlines or histrionics, because they tend to believe that everything they say is by definition true because they're saying it. And therefore, because they're saying it and they're them, it must be true. And they'll use things like, I just know. This can be difficult, especially for INFJs, because we tend to back up our assertions with facts and data, things that are tangible, exhibits, if you will. And in a lot of places, especially where I grew up, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how much proof you have, majority rules, and, you're not allowed to be right, you outcast. So this can lead to very difficult times for an INFJ, particularly that INFJ is simply trying to do the right thing and let the truth be known, you know, call something out on their wrongdoing. As I said, for INFJs, truth is very important. And for us, things that are objective, no matter who's trying to say otherwise. Like if you're an INFJ by yourself and you say 2 + 2 = 4, but like a clique of self-important people are all like, no, 2 + 2 = 5. In their mind, you're supposed to submit and give in to their assertion because they're the majority. They're by definition right. But in that case, something that's objective, 2 + 2 = 4, even if 99,000 people say it's 2 + 2 = 5 and just you say it's 4, it's still 4. In those kind of things, it doesn't matter what the majority believes. We were talking about something that's objective and there's tangible ways to prove that you are right. And that's particularly difficult for INFJs, as I said, because of our devotion to truth and integrity. No matter how hard people are coming down on us and how much falling in line with the majority opinion is tried to ram down our throats, if something is objectively false, we're not going to submit to the majority opinion. And that can frustrate a lot of people. That can also make an INFJ a target for narcissistic abuse, because narcissists, particularly ones in power or ones that hold a lot of influence over a lot of people, they'll take notice to somebody who gets chastised for telling an unpopular truth, for, not falling in line with the majority opinion. And they'll see that person as a threat because they'll immediately see that person as somebody they can't control, somebody who's not going to fall in line, somebody who's going to tell the truth and do the right thing no matter what happens to them. And that's terrifying to a narcissist because you're a wild card. They don't know what you're up to. They know they can't control you, but then the narcissist will be like, well, Do they know what I'm really up to? Do they know what I really am? Like, I can't control this wild card, but what are they doing? So their knee-jerk reaction would be to discredit, slander, and destroy that person because it's a threat. And a threat that they probably won't see coming, because INFJs, we love truth, but we usually take our time to gather enough of it before we run our mouths, because we are introverts too. So, when we are gathering objective truths to expose somebody, we do so pretty quietly and covertly until we have enough of proof to really expose somebody. So the narcissist or the borderline doesn't see us coming. They know, we know, and they know we're probably going to expose them at some time, but they don't know when. We don't telegraph our assault, so to say, of when we're going to call somebody out. Usually, an INFJ, will have their truth, and they'll be witnessing these people taking advantage of people more and more and more, and it'll just get to a breaking point. You'll just let it all out at once without warning. It's usually, when you call somebody out as an INFJ, it's usually not pre-planned. It's usually something happens and you're pushed to your breaking point, to where either you can't take it anymore, or you see other people, this is more likely, see other people in such distress, in such pain, where you go, enough is enough. I'm calling this person out right now. And, it could be at a very unopportune moment. And if that's the case, my advice to you is say as much as you can, as loud as you can, as fast as you can. Yeah, before somebody shuts you up or tries to. But this goes into subjective truth too, where things that you could say the truth is an opinion, but with an INFJ, we, even in subjective truth, we draw our own conclusion based on our intuition and how that puzzle forms in our head. Our opinion is based on what we believe subjectively to have happened, given the facts presented and how we put it together, not what does the majority think. The majority opinion, means nothing to us, because to us, we can see how the majority opinion is often corrupted by, well, this person's related to this person and they're friends with this one and they were this in high school. This one's the boss, all that crap about where I grew up that I don't like. So with an INFJ, will even can be unpopular in that respect, because it's like, I don't care who dated who 10 years ago, whose grandfather was some big shot in the 80s. Like, what are the facts as we know them in this particular situation? And I'm going to put them together in my head and draw a subjective conclusion as to what happened. Because to an INFJ, if you're trying to draw a conclusion to a specific event that is subjective, the only thing that's relevant to us is what went down. Like, what went down in the moment of time of the event you're trying to figure out the truth of. Not who's connected to who and who dated who, and who did what 5 years ago, because that's not relevant. It's not relevant to the event at hand. Whereas majority opinion, a lot of times, they'll base their opinion off of the most ridiculous, conclusions, like, oh, well, Billy Bob couldn't have sexually assaulted her because I know Billy Bob's dad and he's a really good guy. That may be. They're two different people, Yeah, that whole thing, where I grew up is a big thing of son must be exactly like father. It's a continuation of the status quo legacy. No, people are their own people, and who you were born to doesn't mean you're necessarily just a copy of your parents. Narcissists like it that way because, as they always love to say, to their children, how many of you heard this? You're a reflection on me, but really they want you to be a dulled reflection, a watered down, lesser version of themselves, so they can retain superiority. But in terms of truth, facts, or the logical conclusion to the facts as we see them, is what matters to an INFJ, because we always want to get to the truth of the matter. Not only that, we're also very focused on the why. There's a lot of times as an INFJ, you can figure out the truth, but what can drive you mad is wondering why. Like, why did this play out that way? What was this person's end game? Why did they do this? What led to to this, especially when things change, like on a moment's notice, things that you as an INFJ couldn't see coming. That'll drive you mad because, like, what am I missing? There has to be something I'm missing because this makes no sense to me or to anyone else. But yes, in conclusion, truth is most important. Truth as that is concluded by the facts presented, not on the backstory of who's involved or who they're connected to, because that's not relevant. Somebody should be held responsible for their actions. They should not be judged or given a pass simply because they're friends with this person or their uncle is, some big shot kind of shit. So even in terms where the INFJ goes against the majority opinion, which we often do, we do so with our introverted thinking from a place of facts and logic, given the evidence of the situation, and not, what the majority of people are thinking and what's popular. So I hope that clears that up. Remember, INFJs, trust your intuition when you're putting facts together through an event. Keep in mind the facts of the event and not what other people are trying to influence you, because there could be machinations behind that influence. And don't sell out your integrity to fit in with the popular opinion, because people that are willing to bend truth to serve their needs, they'll stab you in the back as soon as it suits their needs.